This call is now being
prisoner
recorded.
at the Michigan Department of Corrections, Lakeland facility.
Well, they're continuing to move people from place to place. They call themselves trying to put positive with positive and negative with negative. However, they still have positive and negative coexisting with each other. And one thing they have done is shut down the chow hall and gave us meals in. But it is unfortunately sad that individuals truly don't know their status, and they're still mixing us and moving us all around, and it's total chaos. And word has it that they moved several individuals to hospice from a unit from this facility.
To hospice.
To hospice. We have a third of the state's deaths from this facility, and we leading the numbers, and we have the #1 infection rate of the state. We look for after all the tests have been coming back, we looking to possibly be at 1,000 or better.
Wow.
So, to say the morale is low, you have some individuals who are taking it very seriously, and some who don't think it's that serious because they are not being affected. Because they have mild symptoms, but majority of the individuals at this facility have tested positive for the coronavirus.
What is your situation?
I am negative. Thank God. We had
so have you been tested, or you've not had?
Yeah, everybody on this compound has been tested.
When you say tested, what does that consist of?
The swab test with sticking the swab up your nose.
I see.
And two administrative officials, got into a verbal argument because one of them told prisoners that they knew that they were mixing positive and negative prisoners with each other, and the other official said, "Why did you tell them that? They're not supposed to know that." So they started off being transparent, and now they're just being covert and sneaky with the illusion of them doing the right things by us.
What is your interpretation of this mixing?
Well, one of the officials said that he's playing the numbers thing. When we first were tested, 58 of us were tested negative for the coronavirus. So it was 12 people that was in the unit who had not been tested. Their test results have not came back. So he removed those and sent them to a unit where possible positive and had some positives in it. And he said, "Why did you do that?" He said he was playing the numbers thing. He said he knew for a fact that 58 of us were negative. He said he'd rather save the 58 of us and sacrifice the 12. And to this time, those 12 are now in positive units, and their results came back, and they were negative. But they've been over there for like 4 days with the positives, so who knows if their status has changed because they were amongst the positives for these last 4 days. And so the practice of them constantly moving people around, shuffling them around, I think is more dangerous than you actually trying to put us with positive and negative, because now it's just chaos, in the lack of a better term, just chaos. and it's just chaos and incompetency. So I'm just praying, washing my hands, and like I said before, and just pray that none of these lying minds blow up in my face.
Tell me, Raymond, what is your thought on you mentioned a numbers game. What is your thought on the JPay that I sent you regarding basically people deciding what, on the numbers and the probabilities, and this many people will probably die, but this many people will live, this many people will recover, and all of those people means a certain level of budget?
I think those who are making decisions has a lack of empathy. One of the key components upon our release is a condition of our release that we have to express empathy, right? The people who are supposed to teach us empathy lack it themselves. So how can you be empathize with people that you have no value for, or you don't have a good, healthy view of them? And so
can you be clear? Who are these people? Can you be clear for the listeners? Can you speak more clearly? Like, who are you?
I'm speaking of the officials of the MDOC, and as well as our governor. Our governor has not taken in consideration that we are people, that we are citizens that happen to be incarcerated, and we are not the worst thing that we ever did in our lives. And this country and this state was built on second chance. And if you can't give a person a second chance after they have served in excess of 25 years, what are you doing with our tax dollars? You have to be able to be able to reform people, rehabilitate people, and return them better than what they came to you at. But first things first, you have to value them and look at them as a people, as humans. They have a dog program here, and the dog program gets more value placed on them than humans do.
If nothing changes this week coming, if nothing changes the week after, if nothing changes for 3 weeks, where do you see this going? What is the trajectory of this for you? This is different. The tone of your voice is different than it was 3 weeks ago when we spoke.
Yeah, because it's frustration, because how long can you say that you don't matter? Individuals continue to tell you you don't matter. It's different. You in there, stay in there, be who you are. You are not part of society right now, so whatever happens to you happens to you. But this thing is, and actually seeing people that you have grown friendships with, to see them die because of this pandemic, it's touching, it's heartening. To see people that you considered friend or be friendly with die. And nothing's being really done to prevent any more deaths. So now it's almost the attitude is we're going to clean up the mess as we go, and we most definitely we are cleaning up at the end. And whoever survives, survives. Whoever dies, they just die. And this is another thing that I have a problem with. They have tested every last prisoner on this compound, but they have not tested one staff member. And those are the ones who have infected us and brought it in. And so one of the staff members said that if they test us, won't nobody be here to work. So they're not going to voluntarily test the staff members. So it's almost like we're between a rock and a hard place, and we just sitting ducks, and everybody in here are not the hardened criminals and just throwaways that people would like to think we are in prison. There are some people in here who have rehabilitated themselves and are no longer a threat and a danger to society, and people will welcome them to come and live amongst them. but we never get that opportunity, or people never see that side to change that perception of people that's on the inside.
Raymond, we only have a couple more minutes. Can you, if this was to be our last phone call, if this was to be, is there anything that you would want to share with your friends, your family? Is there a message that you'd want to share with anybody out here?
Most definitely. I would want people to know this, that we are your brothers, we are your fathers, we are your cousins, we are humans. Everybody is not still holding on to the criminal behavior that they once did and come to prison. People are ready to come home and be citizens, but we should be treated as humans and not as a thing. And I think that the people on the outside would treat us differently if people will voice their opinion and stand up for us, because we have no voice in here right now, and people don't listen to us and don't value what we have to say. And so people on the outside have to be more vocal to those who make the decisions. Those are elected officials. They're not celebrities. They have to get voted in. They come and try to get their votes from you every election time, but they disappear like celebrities and try to be distant when they don't need you anymore until the election time comes. So now we have to place a demand on them, or tell them we're going to hire and fire them with our vote. And that's what I have to say to all of my loved ones and friends and those who have any empathy for those on the inside. And just know that we are humans, and we want to be a help and not a hindrance any longer. And there's many of us in here that are rehabilitated and are citizens that happen to be incarcerated now.
I thank you. I got to an article the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, that in Ohio, more than 70% of the inmate population has been infected. So I guess I'm saying this to say this. There is a national effort. There's a national thing that all of these states are looking at each other in corrections and seeing what others are doing and what they can get away with and how far they can go.
Man, it's sad. And you know, I've been in prison for the last 27 and a half years, and I've been here since I was 19. And I have seen this place turn a blind eye to corruption, turn a blind eye to just not caring. And that culture has to change. And the only way it's going to change is those who outside who vote got to be more vocal and say, hey, this is what we want. You are our elected official. This is what we...
You have 1 minute remaining.
You know, and if they don't, we have to hold them to that and be accountable and hire and fire our elected officials instead of giving them a free pass. They got to care about what we care about, because they work for the people. Hey, I thank you and I appreciate you. I'm praying for you. I thank you for your prayers. May God bless you and keep you.